arrive at a place or in a place? Do we get to a place or reach a place? Oh God, these verbs are so confusing. There are so many problems with verbs. And how can we actually remember all of them? And that's why we end up making so many mistakes with verbs. But this is an end to your story of making mistakes with verbs because I'm Michelle, and in this lesson, I'm going to help you overcome all the problems with verbs. So let's look at the sentences that we have with us on the board. You know what? All these sentences are actually wrong. Yeah, try and read them for yourself. Something is missing in some sentence and something is added in some sentences. So we need to find out the errors. Yes, that's the task, and correct them as well. And I'll give you the reason why all these sentences are wrong. Let's look at the first sentence that we have with us. It depends dash the traffic. So what verb should we have here? In, on, at, what? Think about it. It depends from the traffic? No. Whether I arrive early or not, it depends on the traffic. Yes. On the traffic. So the first thing that you need to be very careful about is choosing the right preposition. Choose the right preposition for the verb. For example, let's look at this sentence. You made me wait an hour. Is that correct or is that an incomplete sentence? Do you think we are missing a preposition? Yes, we are. You made me wait dash an hour. Now think of the preposition that we should have here. You made me wait at an hour or you made me wait from an hour. That sounds a bit correct, right? You made me wait from an hour, but it's actually wrong. You would say, you made me wait for an hour. So many times we tend to miss this for and try not to forget it because if you do, then you are making a wrong sentence. So, you made me wait for an hour. Let's look at the next one. We call to a friend or do we visit to a friend? Do we? Or do we call a friend? And do we visit a friend? Yes. We visit a friend. We don't visit to a friend. The same way we call a friend, we don't call to a friend. Have you been making this mistake very often? Do you call to your friend? Then now, try not to say call to a friend because to is an unwanted preposition here. We do not want to. So we say, let's call a friend or let's visit a friend together. All right? So these are three sentences telling us how to use prepositions correctly with verbs. As you must be knowing, depends, made, and to call. These are the verbs that we have in this sentence, in these sentences. Okay, great. Now let's look at the next one. They accused her of steal. So if you're a bit confused with the word meanings, accused means to blame, all right? And this is a verb. So blamed and accused are past tense, all right? And these are verbs. So they blamed her of steal or they accused her of steal. What does it mean to steal? To steal means quietly take something away without paying for it. Okay? Very bad habit. We must not steal. But in this sentence, we have not used steal correctly. They accused her of steal. Steal is also a verb and it can be used in the present continuous sense. Right. So in this sentence, we have more than one verb. We have two verbs. We have accused and stealing. But why do we use a past tense form for this verb and a present tense form for this verb? It's so funny, isn't it? Well, it's because whenever there is a preposition, yes, this clever preposition after a verb, the second verb will always be in the continuous tense, which means ing, right? So the reason is this preposition. They blamed her of stealing, all right? Okay, she loved She loved dancing, something like that, okay? So they blamed her of stealing. We have stealing in the ing form because we have a preposition between the first verb and the second verb, which is blamed and stealing. Okay, with that we move to the next one that we have. So we complete talking about how to use prepositions correctly with verbs. Now coming to the rest of the grammar concepts. That man live in California. Can that man live in California? Of course he can. But do you think the sentence is correct? Are we missing something here? Yes, we are. I think you must have guessed it. That man lives in California. But why do we say that man lives in California? That's because we always use an S with the third person singular. So that is the third person singular. Here we are talking about one man, okay? Not more than one man. So third person singular. That man lives in California. Okay, let me test you. If I say those men live in California, should it be live in California or lives in California? Those men lives in California. That's incorrect. Those men live in California, and the reason is because there is no singular here. Here we have third person plural. So do remember that only when it's third person singular we use an S. That man lives in California, but those men live in California. Great. The next sentence that we have with us is yesterday, okay? Yesterday is past or present? It's past. Yesterday, I go to dance. Can we go to dance yesterday? No. You have to look for the keywords. As we can see that yesterday is a word from the past and we have a keyword which tells us that this sentence is about the past, we cannot use the present form of the verb. We have to use the past form of the verb and say, yesterday I went to the dance, and not yesterday I go to the dance. So be careful, look for keywords and then frame your sentence and use the correct form of the verb. For example, we'd say, last night I went to the party, right? Because here also, last night is about the past. Now we have the next sentence with us. Is that a sentence? No, it's a question. What was happened last night? Oh, I think we have an extra word in this one. Do we? Let's see. What happened last night? We cannot have two past words in the same sentence. We cannot say what was happened last night. So here, was is an extra B. We do not need it. We do not need was here. We simply say what happened last night. So remember, when you have one past verb, you do not need another past verb, helping verb. Okay? Let's look at the next one. I concerned about my grades. I concerned about my grades. Are we missing something here? Yes, we are. We are missing a verb, a helping verb be, okay? Like we removed the helping verb here, we'll add a helping verb here. I am concerned about my grades. So whenever you're using the present tense, do not forget to use the helping verb be as an auxiliary. Now let's look at the second last that we have. I could play basketball, okay? So could, as you know, is a modal, okay? It's a modal. And here it's used for the past, all right? I could played basketball. Now, the point that you must remember is that after the modal, the verb should always be in its base form, okay? After the past modal, the verb should always be in its base form. Like I told you, we cannot have two past in the same sentence. So the same way, we cannot have two past words here. So I could play basketball. This is still talking about the past ability. Great. With this, we come to the last sentence of the day that we have. I have met Michelle for 5 years. Have you met me for 5 years? Well, this is a wrong sentence because of the word choice. For means a period of 5 years. We are not just talking about a point in the past, we are talking about a period, right? So when you talk about a period, you will replace met with known, all right? I have known Michelle for 5 years. So be careful about the word choice. Very soon you will surely know me for 5 years because I am going to continue to help you solve all the problems with different things in grammar. For today, this is all that I have for verbs, and if you've been making any of these mistakes, then make sure you don't make those mistakes now because you've got all the answers with this lesson. Thank you so much for having me. Bye-bye.